Okay, so I'm going to change the oil on my Acura TL today, and I'm also going to be using some accessories to change it on that help with my particular car, like this forma funnel. This one's pretty good. I tried like a Chinese coffee that was not very good. It's about like 25 bucks. I'm gonna show you all the tools I'm gonna use. I like to have gloves. This is optional, but this creeper was like 30 bucks. It's very popular. It's a Vevor. I'm going to use a half-inch drive, 17 millimeter, to get off the drain plug. You could also use like a regular sort of wrench. This is a box wrench. Then we're going to use a 3/8 inch to tighten it. We have this Lisle oil filter tool, which almost always needed. I'm trying out this OTC Drain Plug Pro. This is overkill. I'm trying it out. And yeah. Also overkill is this, to get off the wheels, you want some sort of an impact probably. Also overkill is this EPR. We're going to do the BG EPR beforehand. Also overkill, instead of a funnel, I'm going to try this for the oil. Use a little funnel for the BG though. Probably going to get some brake cleaner in between now and then while the BG's in there, heating it up, and then letting it idle for a little bit more. Definitely want some jack stands. These are about $50 at Harbor Freight. You want a jack, like 200 bucks, depending which one you get. It's like 10, less than 10 for this. Less than 10 for a oil catch. And then I'm doing Valvoline Restore and Protect. We're doing a thicker oil than it asks for in the car. It has about 200,000 miles on it. This will be the last oil change before it hits 200,000 miles. We're doing it right. I'm going to do a Fram Synthetic Endurance factory gasket. It doesn't come with it, so those are all separate. This is all separate in this video, but yeah. Alright, so the unofficial first step after the unofficial step of getting all your stuff is getting the mileage. This one is 197,364. You want to pop the hood. That latches down here. In this case, I am missing a piece of the interior trim, but it usually has a picture of the front of the car like that. This is pretty much the same on every car for the most part, unless you have like a Lamborghini with a dry sump oil system. But it's basically removing a drain plug, removing a filter. There's also a fill plug. You want to make sure that comes out. Sometimes like the dipstick doesn't come out. Some cars don't have dipsticks, but it's all pretty much the same. But getting the mileage is important. We're going to open the hood and put in some EPR here. So we're going to put in this tiny little funnel after taking out the oil cap. Crazy thing about recording a video and doing it at the same time is you have to like balance stuff. To get the can of BG open, you kind of need some sort of a like a tool. I had this piece of metal lying here, but it's actually harder to get open than I thought, and then it spilled on me when I cracked it. It's probably why they say it's for professionals. to Advance Auto to get some brake clean real quick. Alright, I obtained the brake clean. Our mileage now is 197,366. On the Canon EPR it says to do it for at least 10 minutes at 1200 RPM. The drive was 6 minutes, a little under, a little over. We're gonna do like another 5 minutes right now, and I'm just gonna kind of talk about oil changes and car maintenance and the AC here and enjoying it. It's kind of hard for some people to hold this at a particular thing, so if it's a little over, a little under, it doesn't really matter. EPR is pretty expensive, but also like going to a place to get an oil change is expensive, so you might as well do like the best possible thing. You don't always have to do EPR, you don't ever have to do EPR, but it's one, the BG products are pretty good. The Dynamic I haven't gotten to do, but for a lot of cars like BG Dynamic can like turn back the clock with engine sludge, especially if they're not that bad, but it tends to only be used on like the most extreme cases, it seems like, because it's so expensive. It's like $500, but really that's like 5 oil changes, and a lot of times the people just haven't gotten, like that's a lot cheaper than an engine, or a lot cheaper than the oil changes they would have gotten. But yeah, I'm gonna pop the hood again here. This car is pretty old. It's gonna get new pre-cat catalytic converter. The manifold ones, they're kind of annoying, especially the rear one. And I'm also gonna do the engine mounts. It's pretty much, their engine mounts are pretty much busted completely in the front and the back. And I'm gonna put in some aftermarket ones, because the normally buying Honda stuff, or the best stuff, is what you can do, but it's just very, very expensive. But I'm gonna go with these innovative mounts, which in the Acura community seem to be pretty well liked, and they're I'm going to do the 75A hardness ones, which are a little bit apparently louder with the NVH rating than normal, especially with the AC on at idle. So this will kind of be a good reference point for that. But maybe at some point I would get like the original mounts, but they are very, very expensive. It's about $800 for all 3 of them, including also the transmission mounts, which aren't as expensive individually, but they're still like $70 each, and then the main 2 engine mounts are like $250 each, and the side one's like another $150, $200, depending where you get it. And it's kind of like a whole goose chase to find them all, and there's like different ones for different years and stuff, so I just kind of decided not to do it. But yeah, see, it just dipped down a little bit. I wasn't paying attention, but it didn't go below where I wanted it to go below. But yeah, the next step is going to be to jack up the front end of the car, which you don't always have to do, especially if you have like an SUV or something. Like right here, there's this Crosstrek, and these cars are very good to work on because you don't really have to do anything. But you just kind of like lean under, and it's a 14 or 17 millimeter bolt. Some people switch them. That's a big thing on cars, is you could have your drain bolt switched to like a different size bolt, or it could be really, really tight or something. But once you start doing it yourself, none of that really happens. And unless you have like a busted oil pan, or the threads are busted or expanded or something like that, depending what's happened over the years to the car before you started working on it yourself. If you can possibly revert it back to the original setup, that's always going to be the easiest. Some people put like a Fumoto. I don't really like the Fumoto personally. But yeah, we're almost done here as far as the time. It's real time, no editing other than putting these clips together. YouTube is interesting. YouTube's a very good place to get information on cars, but you really have to absorb a lot of it, and there's a lot of not so good, a lot of good, and it kind of incentivizes the not so good stuff to be there. But this is obviously a pretty easy thing to do, the oil change and all, but doing work in your car in general is hard and takes a lot of willpower, especially if you're not just a mechanic or something. But yeah, without further ado, we're gonna get this car jacked up and chocked for extra safety. We get the hood opened, the top opened up, and then test out that Drain Plug Pro and the and stuff like that. So to reset this light, you have to hold down this button for quite a while. And then hit select to reset. Now our oil life is at 100%. Trip B is the one I like to reset if possible, but I tend to disconnect my battery by accident a lot of times. But yeah, that's how to reset the oil life. It's better to do that after, just in case something goes wrong. But I forgot to do it entirely the last time, but I keep track other ways. It's a good idea to roll down the window when you're doing any work on your car, in case like the battery dies or I don't know, the world ends. So you want that window down when the car is being worked on. It's also kind of hot today. Alright, it's jacked up. It's pretty hot out, so I didn't really show it, but when doing it, you want to position the jack farther that way because it's going to roll the opposite way when you let it down onto the stands. And then you want to put the other jack under the front of the subframe, just enough so that basically if the one or both of the stands somehow failed, because they are Harbor Freight ones, just kidding. These are Walmart chocks. Yeah, I got a lot of faith in some companies here. Yeah, we're gonna get this nearby, get that wheel off. All right. And most viewed short is me taking off the Honda crank bolt on a 2016 TLX V6 all-wheel drive with this thing, and the Lisle weighted socket is really what did it, and people were like thinking it's fake. This thing's amazing. These are just wheel lugs, like lug nuts. It's literally, these probably put up a similar fight to the crank bolt with this exact thing. You just don't need a special socket to do these guys. That's getting the wheel off. Take the 4 of these. I'm going to put them in the shade. Then we're going to take the wheel, take it off, and put it as a 5th pillar of support under the car in the corner where we're working. There we go. You can see pretty much the whole shebang, which is going to be this oil filter and that drain bolt there. Yeah. Alright, so I hand tightened this Fram last time, and it's still just about hand tight. Using the glove, this thing's hot from doing the EPR heat up procedure. I'm gonna start that, get it loose. I'm gonna get the hood open. Get this open. Get the engine cooling a little bit. Get that off. In case there's any accusations, I loosened it beforehand. This shade over here. This guy, this Quinn, to loosen. This Vevor. Alright, it's very hot under here, but this arm funnel is working absolutely great. I'm putting it under between this brake line and the oil pan. It looks like I'm going to have to do that oil pan gasket pretty soon. The tilter is loose here. And then the Quinn it's probably not the Quinn's fault, but I wasn't able to use it because the socket was too long. You need a short socket for this car. So we got that up with this. Drain Plug Pro worked great. Vevor, this thing isn't really that low profile, is the problem. So I'm going to get this out of the way. Alright, so it'll drain down. is awesome. Those are two things I would definitely suggest when doing their own oil changes. If you don't like getting dirty, you absolutely have to. Back to new. It's very hard to see from here without getting really under there, but drain bolt's on. I just gotta tighten it. I hand tightened this without a glove on. I didn't put too much strength into it. You don't have to. I'm gonna go grab a torque wrench to tighten the bottom, put the wheel back on, drain out this old oil before recycling it, and fill it up using that fancy Lisle dispenser. Here on the home stretch here, I'm gonna tighten the drain bolt to 29 foot-pounds. Got the 17 mil here. So this is 29. Very hard to do all this stuff in one hand. First fix is God. It's right under the 30. Very good. All right, we're not over tightening the bolt here. It's going to click eventually at 29. Is it? There we go. Oh. Not quite. Almost there. There we go. It's a Pittsburgh 3/8 drive torque wrench and a Pittsburgh 6-point impact 3/8 drive sockets. Very good combo. So yeah, that's all torqued. We can put the wheel back on, lower it down, torque it. Gotta pour that out, put the new stuff in. Alright, so here's the second half of pouring the oil. The first half is not possible with one hand, nor did I even think it would be. But there's our drain crush washer. The only better thing than this, $5 thing is a one that's covered and has like a cap and is potentially bigger. But I just use the little containers, and I have another container where I put the remaining half quart of oil. I'm gonna grab this guy. Just gonna go in the trash. I'm gonna cap this. Might fall off. This is gonna go to pretty much any auto parts store will take it. It's very, oh, that spilled. That definitely spilled. That's the spill that we did today, though. I don't think it will be possible to spill anything with that Lisle container, but we'll see how it works in actuality. I see TV videos using it all the time. But yeah, we'll get back to putting the wheel on, letting it down. Alright, the car's let down after the wheel's on. That Hyper Tough on 1 put these to like 75, 78 pound. So this half-inch drive Pittsburgh impact had to turn like an eighth, not even of a turn. These are all clicking. But yeah, that Hyper Tough is very, very, very good. Nice. Hyper Tough. This thing, the Max, the high impact one, very good. It has 3 settings. It has like a thing to not break your wrist when it's loosening. Doesn't say the specs on it. It just says the RPMs. 0 to 800 BPM, but I think it's like 800-900 foot-pound. The thing's very good. And now it's time to do the oil. I'm going to be using this Lisle dispenser. Fill it to 4.5 quarts. We're just going to send it a full 4.5 quarts. Sometimes this car wants a little less than that, but quickly look at what's in this. And I did spill a little bit. It's like, well, that's actually really good. Like four and something quarts. That's almost exactly the same, but I did add the can of BG and spill some. So very good, very good. This car's doesn't seem to be running any oil. Maybe leaking a teeny bit. But yeah, we're gonna see if we don't need a funnel with this BG thing. We're gonna have Lisle. If I can do it with one hand. Let's see here. Alright, so that's in the hole. Oil's going in. No leaks so far. It's not coming out the top. Actually didn't come with this top cap. You had to get the 8 thing. The 8 one was way too big. This goes like right in there. This is input 5W30 in. The car says it wants 520, but earlier versions of the J series took this oil. This thing is great. This thing is fantastic. There's like nothing in there. Maybe a little bit in there. Let's see if we can get that out. Go like that. Bend it. Spilled 1 drop. I got too confident. Amazing. I'd give this thing a 10. This thing, the Drain Plug Pro, and the Forma funnel are must-haves. The money you'll save from just doing one oil change yourself versus another place you get to pick whatever oil you want. It's really great doing it yourself. You know everything's torqued. You can maybe reward yourself with some of the savings if that's how your brain works, or save the savings. But yeah, that shit's full. Let's take a look here. I'll wipe this off and check it. Need both hands to wipe it without spilling. Alright, just wiped. It is showing a little higher than it's supposed to be on here. I'm not exactly on a level surface. Car is at an angle, but I'm going to wipe it and recheck here. Also could just be some residual stuff inside that tube. It's real dry. That's exactly what it asks for. So anywhere you're going, they're going to put that in. And then check after if it's low or something, but it's crazy. Some of these measurements, especially on the transmission. Yeah, that is exactly where it was before. So we're gonna heat this up and see. But regardless, it's not more than it asked for. What came out is about what went in. So yeah, I'd say that's good. We just gotta and started, get it to operating temperature. Make sure it doesn't blow up. That's a wrap on doing an oil change on this car. Also put the window up. I already did the service reset. Let's get it started. As the Black Eyed Peas say.